In today's video, I'm going to prove to you why you should quit photography. I mean, I'm not a bearer of good news today, but I think I have to get this out of the way. Let's get right into the video. So there are practices that photographers every day we just can't get rid of. You might not even know why you always run into that, or probably has become second nature to you and it's a problem. I'm going to mention a couple of things and you actually know why this video is titled as it is. So the first thing we're going to talk about is cropping most of your photos after photo shoots. This is a little bit relative depending on where you look at it from, the kind of lens or the perspective you are looking at this point from. So the first thing I want you to know is that if you're a photographer and you find yourself normally cropping your pictures during post-production, let's say you have a ton of pictures, let's say 100 of them, and you find yourself cropping 80 of them, it means you didn't really get your framing right. And if you find yourself fixing a lot of that in post-production, you're not getting better. You need to be able to get it right on camera or in camera, so that once you get into your home, your editing space, you wouldn't have so much to do, especially cropping your photos or skewing it or whatever it is. Make sure that you get your framing right in the shot because you have a viewfinder. And nowadays I don't find photographers even using so much of DSLRs that they have to stick their eyes against the viewfinder. Now they use the LCD screens. I find a lot of photographers doing that, myself included, for the most part. But I still love having my eye there so that it's like I don't see anything else distracting me, but it's just what I see in the frame is what I capture. And over time I got better and I wasn't cropping my pictures for the most part because I get it right on camera. When I get back home, when I'm editing it, I have little or nothing to do. So make sure that you start realizing that you are not cropping most of your pictures, and that will signify that you're getting better at framing. The second point is kind of like a little bit close to the first point, which is reorienting your photographs during post-production. When you take your pictures and you find yourself editing and you're going to have to be reorienting, which is making it diagonal, turn it here and there. It might be a creative choice, but let's say you shoot a wedding and you come home and you're going to have to reshape and retune your shot or reorient your shots. That means that your framing or your composition wasn't done right. So it's basically kind of close to the cropping, but the cropping is more of like omitting some part. During post-production, using Lightroom or Photoshop or whatever editing software that you use, you realize that once you reorient, it kind of like crops out some part of your photographs. And I'm sure that you might not want that to be happening. So of course, you need to ensure that anytime you're shooting, you get it right by making sure your frame is perfect with your composition and everything is done right before you snap that photograph. So that when you come home with a ton of pictures, you wouldn't have so much to worry about by reorienting your pictures. Yeah, so that's the second point. This third point. When Canon was releasing all these cameras, the R series, the R5, R7, Mark II, the R6, and what have you, a lot of photographers here in my region in Ghana were buying a whole lot of them. I was still using my 6D. And you look at a couple of their pictures, custom back to when they were using older, or should I say earlier versions. Their pictures don't look any different, or should I say I don't see any significant reason why I would say their new camera was worth the purchase, truthfully. Because if you're a photographer and find yourself always chasing gear, buying all the sophisticated and the new releases here and there, and your pictures still look the same, my brother, my sister out there, you better stop photography, because probably you are just wasting your time and your money, your precious money, instead of investing into getting to have so much knowledge and getting your pictures right out of camera and editing it and making it better than before because you bought a new camera body, a new lens or what have you. Your pictures still look the same, so it may be a point of concern. Yeah, you better stop photography or get better first, because probably you don't want to stop photography. But if that's what you keep on doing and your pictures still look the same, I'm sorry, you better have a second thought about that. There's also another thing I've noticed, alright? We become sometimes lazy to, you know, get our frame or our set right, especially when you're shooting outdoors and you have something there that, instead of putting your camera down or asking someone to just take whatever it is out of the way, for instance, it could be anything, it could be a stool, it could be a chair, it could be anything, sometimes even a dustbin, it could be in the background, something that causes, you know, distractions, where definitely when you get back home and you're editing, you're going to remove it or take it out. Imagine you're taking a whole bunch of pictures and that issue is back there in the background. You're going to come home with all those number of pictures shot against that background having that same issue, and you're going to have to remove it all. You need to clean your set, clean your frame. And clean your frame, I don't mean post-production, and of course not. During shooting, during production, ensure that your set is clean, is devoid of any sort of distractions that you're going to have to remove during post. And don't always rely on post-production, because there are going to be certain times that are going to, you know, overlook things, or probably some things are just going to fly over your head, and you would have wished that you knew. So when you're shooting, make sure that whatever you spot that you don't want to have ending up in your photographs, take them out before you take your pictures, and this is going to get you better. And yes, wouldn't have you categorize under those people that recommend you quit photography. I'm not going to have a lot of hate concerning the topic of discussion, but I mean, these are points that are very important. I needed to draw minds towards, again, because I see a lot of these issues day by day, and these issues definitely impede on our progress in getting better, and also slows down our productivity as creatives. So yeah, the next time you're going to take your picture, make sure that you clean the setup, you make sure that everything is just perfect, your framing, your composition, everything is just right, and ensure that if you're using the newest gear, that photograph you're going to take should be worth it. Until the next video, of course, don't forget to subscribe, turn on the post notification button, and if you enjoyed it, please share it across all social media platforms, and I'm going to catch you in the next video. Have a wonderful day. See ya.